Here we are at another episode of Varsity House Podcast with your host, Sean Crawford. Another episode bringing on Lexi Salney, who's my co-host. She has her cat in the background, but I'm very excited for this episode. We have two members of the LSU women's gymnastics team, Kai Rivers and Christina. Appreciate you guys hopping on and doing this for me. I feel like LSU gymnastics is like widely known across obviously gymnastics, but even across just like sports, maybe because of other reasons. I don't know, but like my friends, I told my friends, I was like, I'm having some gymnasts on, and they were pretty jealous, and so I don't know why, but whatever. But it's cool because this is something cool that I've always wanted to do. I've always wanted to start a podcast. And I didn't want to just be, I guess, a football podcast. I wanted to just kind of branch out and do more and just hear different stories from other people, just with the reach that I have. And so anytime that I have the opportunity to bring on a female athlete, Lexi is always down, and she's down to share stories as well because she has a story. But like I said, very excited. So thank you both for helping me, and let's get this one going. So obviously we talked about you guys being just widely known across gymnastics. Would you consider that just like pressure, or is that just privilege? Like being at one of the top programs in the country?
I would say it's pressure and privilege. Obviously we have a lot of young girls that look up to us. So it's important that we're good role models for them, and like what we put out there, what we post, what we tweet, we always just have to make sure that it is okay for other people to see. But it also is a privilege. It's really cool to have a platform that we do. So yeah.
Yeah, I think it makes it like more fun. I think this is kind of what we asked for. We all came from like really high level places. So it's just really exciting when we get to go out there and people kind of already know who we are. I mean, I think it can be a good thing and a bad thing, but we try to like make it a positive.
When you, I guess, walk into the arena, do you have just like this aura around you to where it's like LSU just walked into the gym? Because I mean, because even like playing for Notre Dame, it's just like when we walk into the stadium, or it's just like when we get off the bus, like like eyes are on you. It's go time, and like you're at one of those type of programs. So do you guys have that same type of feeling?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. As soon as we get off the bus and like walk into the arena, we're like, okay, it's go time. We know there's eyes on us at all times.
Yeah, for sure. Like when you walk in, we usually come in very like hype, music playing. You know, we got the whole like yellow and purple, so like everyone knows who we are. So it's just important for us to like back it up. You know?
Right.
Yeah. So I just took a trip to LSU to visit my old coach, Coach Kelly, who's now the head coach of the football team. So got to experience that whole thing for the first time. I mean, campus is beautiful. The Tiger is dope. Like all those everything is what people talk about is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Obviously the colors, like you said, the purple and gold. I mean, it stands out as bright. But Christina, like you came in as a freshman. I mean, I think you were 16, and that's really, I don't even know how you can graduate high school that young or whatever. But coming in that early, I mean, you came in as a freshman though. You were like all ACC. You were all SEC rookie team or whatever, and you had a great start to your career. So could you like talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So first, I was able to graduate that early because I was always like the youngest in my class to begin with, and then I graduated a whole year early. So it was like 2 years early, kind of. So that's how I got here at 16. But yeah, I really wasn't expecting all that freshman year. So I had a pretty bad injury coming into college. That's why I decided to come to college instead of like continue elite gymnastics. So I really wasn't expecting to contribute that much or really anything like that. But it was a really, really neat experience and so different from what I was used to. So it was a lot of getting used to with the team aspect instead of individual in elite gymnastics. So it was really, really cool.
I'm sure even just like now, even when you came in at 16, you probably didn't think about the end of your career, like today getting ready for graduation, and it's all starting to hit you now, like to where it's like now you kind of reflect back on your career. What
Yeah.
are some highlights and just some moments that you're going to miss once you leave campus?
Yeah, I would say definitely most of the highlights are with the girls. We're a really, really close-knit group. And you would think with like 18 to 22-year-olds that there'd be a lot of gossip or just a lot of like girly stuff, but we really are a tight-knit group. So I think that was a lot of the highlights. Gymnastics-wise, one of the biggest highlights was probably winning SECs in 2019. I'll never forget that day. But I think I'm going to miss my team the most, the staff and everything.
That's really good to hear. You guys have such a tight-knit group. I think that with women's sports, that really makes all the difference. Like, I've been on teams that really don't get along, and I've been on teams that love each other more than anything, and you just win more. Like, you're just always more successful. And I think it's just like an underrated aspect of team sports that like people don't really talk about as much.
Right. I agree.
And yeah, so have you thought about like post-career so far? I mean, it's like right around the corner. What are you looking to do there?
I honestly don't really know yet. So now that I'm done with gymnastics, I realized that I don't really want to get out of the sport yet. So I was thinking about maybe coaching college gymnastics, but I would have to go volunteer somewhere for a year. So I'm just trying to figure that out right now. But
if you ever thought about hosting a podcast, I know someone on this call who could use some help and get her thing started up.
Okay, I'd be down.
Kai, so you're going into your senior year. Lexi wants to, chat about that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah, that's awesome. First of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
How do you feel about being almost done? Are you excited? Are you nervous? Feel like you have some unfinished business to handle?
Right. I don't know. My college career has been very like eventful. I'll say I don't think I've been able to put out what I want because of injuries and everything that I've had to go through since I've gotten here. But I'm excited. I'm excited for the incoming freshman. I just want to be like a great leader. I want to work on like my personal like as a human being, you know, because I feel like I put so much into gymnastics for such a long time and it didn't end up working out the way I wanted it to, even though it's not over yet. I don't want to like put it out of the window totally, but I'm just excited for, you know, our program to come back up and for us to work hard. And, you know, I want to see my friends do great. Like you said, we're really close knit. So like my win is their win and their win is mine. So I just want everyone to like be happy, and I want to start looking at like what life is going to be like after I'm done with gymnastics completely. So.
Your goals after gymnastics, what do you want to do later in life?
I was just talking about this with my mom yesterday because I really don't know. I wanted to be like a lawyer maybe, then maybe like HR. I have no idea. I really need to like sit and think about that because I'm not doing it.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's definitely tough. Like I've been done for a year and a half now, and it was football, like everything, and then now it's just like I don't know. Yeah, it's like because it's so hard because you kind of
so long that like you kind of have to figure out who you are without it because you don't remember, and you're completely different from last time you didn't play or you didn't do gymnastics, you know. Right. So you kind of have to like refigure out who you are and figure out what you like to do and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
It's really hard.
So growing up, I was able to play like multiple sports. So I played like football, basketball, track, and even did lacrosse for a year. I had a friend growing up in grade school who did gymnastics, and like it seemed like all she did was go to school and do gymnastics, and like no life on the weekends. It was like we went to parties or just like the little pizza parties that we had like when you were a kid, and she was like never there. Yeah. Is that like similar to like your story growing up? Is it really like that tough?
Yeah, probably worse than like what you would imagine. Like it's 6 days a week, 5 hours every day, leave school, or I would get up early. They'd break my day up into parts. So like I'd get up at 6, be late to school, get there at like 10, leave early before 2, and then I had to drive an hour as well to the gym. So then I would finish practice at like 8, and then I'd have to come back and do it the next day. And then like from Friday to Saturday was worse because you end so late and you have to get up so early and like do it all day because you're going to school, so you're going to have reason not to be in the gym. And it was just, it's never ending. Day in, day out, everything same every single day.
Yeah. I mean, my experience is a little different because I was homeschooled since the 4th grade. So I would practice from 8:30 to 4:30 every day. And my gym was an hour away. So I'd drive there in the morning, have to drive back during rush hour, and then fight my mom to do my homework because I didn't want to do my school. So then the weekends, I would catch up on all my school. I'd have my math tutor on Saturdays for 2 hours. Yeah, we didn't have a life.
No partying. No, none of that.
No, no.
Did it slow down in college at all, or is it pretty much the same?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so gymnastics is really different than other sports. So normally gymnastics, you peak when you're like 15 or 16. So that's when you would do like your elite career and all the stuff like that. But when you get to college, it kind of, I would say the gymnastics is easier, right, Kai? Like it's not intense. We only work out like 3 to 4 hours, like 4 days a week. So we do get a life in college, thank God.
Yeah.
When you're competing growing up, did you see a lot of similar faces that you see, like when you compete in college or maybe even the Olympics right now?
Yeah, I would say the whole gymnastics world is pretty small. I think we all pretty much like know each other for the most part. So we've competed with the girls like from when we were little all the way up until now. So
yeah, and there's girls on other teams too. Like we have a lot of friends on like different college teams that we grew up with. So that's always cool. Like going to meets and seeing them. Like some of them I've known since I was like 9, 7. Like yeah. So it's just really cool to see them like doing their thing over there.
Mm-hmm. Were you guys able to compete like for the trials or have that opportunity or no?
I did in 2016. I competed at Olympic trials.
How was that?
It was the coolest experience, one of the coolest experiences of my whole life. I would say it's right up there with the first time competing in the PMAC here at LSU. It was really neat.
What's the PMAC?
That's where we compete. The
Pete Maravich Center.
Yeah. It's their version of the gym.
That's where basketball does their thing.
But theirs is way better. Like way better.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Lexi's like her dad is from New Orleans, so she kind of has some ties to Louisiana and stuff like that.
Cool.
How small is the gap, you would say, from like an Olympic athlete to like one that competes at the high level you do?
You mean like the difference or?
Yeah, so like I mean I feel like for college football to where it's just like if you look at a player in college and then or at a certain level like at a high program like Ohio State, Alabama or whatever. Yeah. And then you look at an NFL player, it's probably just like an age thing and it's just like a maturity type of thing. So the athletic gap isn't probably that much bigger. Would you say that's pretty much the same as far as gymnastics, or is it like when you see like I guess like or Gabby Douglas or like obviously like Simone Biles, she's ridiculous, but like what's something that makes her just like makes them unique?
Well, I think like I said, gymnastics is really different than any other sport. So like we peak when we're younger, so we would go the elite route then, but when you get to school it's a little bit easier. So I would say it's a big difference, but it's kind of like you're up here for elite, but then college it's not that hard, if that makes sense. Does that make sense, Kai? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I think for college, like, it's just being really, really, really good at what you do.
Yeah, it's like it's more consistency than like trying to go for skills.
Because like the skills are still hard. Like for the Olympics, you'll have like 4 passes that are really hard, but in college you'll have like one really, really, really hard one, and you have to do it like really, really well. So I would say college is like harder in some ways because it's more like consistency and perfection.
Yeah, and it's
like I think like the Olympics is like throw the biggest craziest skills, and like you'll get rewarded for that.
Right.
Have you attempted those crazy skills? Or
I know, like, what's a
both
great
have.
skill?
Growing up, yeah.
For
Not
sure.
now.
Not now.
My little 15-year-old self could do some of that stuff.
Yeah, just for fun.
Mhm.
Not now.
So Kai, you do. It said you were all around, so you pretty much do like every, I guess, event.
Yeah.
How is that if you're not able to just like just like focus on one or two single events?
Right. I don't know. All around is hard because I've been doing it for so long, and I really have no problem with like training all four. But I would say like when you get older though, it's like harder because your body is just, I don't know, like one rep is like way harder than it would have been before. And then I think because I've gotten a lot of surgeries too, like my body's just not the same as it was before. But at the end of this year, I only trained one event because I hurt my shoulder in the middle of the season. And it was nice. Like, it was nice just knowing I only have to do one thing, do it well, get out of there, go back to the training room. Like, it was nice, but I do like training all four. It's just more fun.
Yeah. You talk about, like, surgeries and injuries, and
yeah,
I probably can relate to you the best. I had 3 season-ending injuries in college. I ended up doing, like, 6 years there. Freshman year, tore my ACL. Second year, tore my Achilles. And then senior year, I tore my other ACL. But whatever. So like that's obviously one of the reasons why I wanted to do this, just because I think like other people have cool stories that that you don't hear about, to where it's just like all you care about is like when they're on the mat or when they're on the field, when Lexi's on the court. So I mean, I feel like I could definitely relate to you. And when you say like one rep feels a lot different on your body after surgeries, to where it's like when you're younger and you can run around and you can just go all day, to where it's like nowadays, or like when I was playing, it was like in college, it was like I got to just get to the game. I got to get to Saturday as healthy as I could. So it's like limit the reps and practice as much as possible, and like allow me to like learn as much as I can, but like I just got to get to Saturday and hopefully my body holds up.
Right.
So, and like obviously gymnastics is crazy, but how does one like staring down like the runway on a vault and then just like approaching it full speed, when to me I look like if I ever try to go do that, I feel like I would just run up there and break my neck, and that'll be the end of my story. Right. So how do you like? I've seen like Christina, and I've seen like other friends who are gymnasts like post videos of falling, and like it's kind of something you laugh about now, but like what's like the mindset like when you get out there on the mat, and it's just when you have these like I mean it's just gravity. I just feel like it's just gravity against you.
Like how do you approach it?
Yeah.
Well, I think it's like anything else. Well, for me, it's second nature. Like it sounds so weird when I tell people, or like when when you hear a gymnast talk about it, but like when I hear you guys or anybody else talk about like football or even like basketball, like I'd be so nervous to just like stand in the middle of the court, and like I would miss like every time. So like I would be so nervous on a football field, like having like guys run at me. So like I think just because we've been doing it for so long, like I'm not gonna say we don't get nervous, but like the actual skill itself, like we know the mechanics, we know, the science, we know what it feels like when it's bad. So we know what to do if something happens in the air that we don't like, so it's like, it's not really that scary when you've been doing it for so long,
Yeah, it's like muscle memory. We kind of have to like, gymnasts like have to like shut their brains off, or we're going to like
autopilot.
Yeah. We try to go into autopilot before.
And we hear our teammates in the background too, like when she's on beam, like I'll say things during her beam routine that she would normally hear me say during practice, and like hopefully that would like bring her some comfort, and like vice versa,
Yeah.
So like you've been in a situation to where it's like you've been in midair and you just like realized I fucked up.
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's yeah. You're like prepare for crash.
Yeah. It's like a gut feeling. Like you can feel it in the air. You're like, oh, this isn't gonna end well. And you just have to like
prepare yourself to like crash, basically.
Yeah. Never
Or like
put
when
your arms straight.
when you're about to split the beam, yeah, when you know you jump crooked, game over. You know you're about to slam on your side of your leg.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
It
You
sounds
just
way more violent than it actually is, though. Like,
I
it
think we're
happens
just used
so
to it.
often.
Yeah, I mean, I have a permanent lump on the side of my leg from like splitting the beam so many times or like falling. That's never gonna go away probably. But
like,
we're used to it.
Isn't it called something, that feeling that you get when you're like flipping and you get disoriented? I remember about it during the Olympics.
Simone, what'd you say?
Oh,
the twisties.
Okay, yeah. What is that?
So we do like multiple flips and twists in the air, but sometimes like we'll get like a mind block and we'll go up in the air and have no idea what we're doing. And it's like terrifying. And like sometimes it'll take like a week to get over, sometimes it'll take months. It's honestly like the scariest thing ever. That's why Simone didn't compete, because she wasn't going to go out there and chuck herself into the air and not know what she's going to do. Like it's too dangerous. It's so dangerous.
That's crazy that your mind can like work against you so much in this sport. I feel like it's almost more than your mind might work against you in any other sport, because it puts you in like actual physical danger.
Fight or flight, for real.
That's what people don't realize about gymnastics. Like we're up in the air and we can literally land on our neck and like, you know.
Yeah.
But
that's why I feel like why we go to the gym so often, because we have to be prepared for like any situation. So it's like the reps are what's going to get you like comfortable doing it out there in a nerve-wracking, semi-dangerous environment in front of like a lot of people, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
So when you first started, is there a lot of like just like practicing on how to fall and things like that?
I mean, they teach us. The one thing that I remember is never put your arms back straight. Your elbow's gonna pop out. That's the one thing that they teach us, little things like that we like that have stuck with us. But
I wish I learned that, because I've actually dislocated my elbow falling to the ground, and my elbow went, like my arm went that way.
Yeah.
And it was wild. It was definitely a wild experience, and I'm like laying on the field like with my arms like trying to move my hand. So maybe I should if my kids end up playing football, I'll make sure they go learn some gymnastics and stuff and learn how to fall. But you talked about like Simone, and like she like a reason why she didn't compete, and a lot of it was just mental health reasons. And we were talking about pre-show, like how you just like when you get out there, you have like thousands of eyes on you. You have like they only take 5 scores and things like that, to where it's like you go out there and like a lot of things are riding on you. To where it's like maybe from other sports like wrestling, where it's like a team sport but it's still individual, like track or something like that. To where it's like there's so many other events, like so many other people competing in an event, where it's like if you mess up, then we gotta hope that he does well and we'll take his score. So like when you like, I mean, lining up and getting ready to compete, is that on your mind at all, or is it just like, I mean, you just have the trust of your teammates? What?
Yeah, for sure. We definitely have a lot of trust in each other, but obviously mistakes happen. People fall all the time. It's just the sport. But gymnastics is really different because we get one shot to go up there and do one routine. Like I don't know if any other sport is like that. Like one shot, if you make it, you're good. If you don't get a redo. You know what I mean? So it's definitely a lot of pressure, but we've had that growing up. So I think we're kind of used to it. But you kind of do have to block out the like, oh my gosh, I have to make it, or I'm going to let my whole team down.
It's kind of like equestrian. You probably don't know anything about it.
Mm-hmm. My friend did it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And so like, it's pretty much similar, because like you get one ride. Yeah. And then they take that once, and they take your score, and then so like you got to be like perfect on a little different. I mean, I don't know if the athleticism is the same, but like pretty similar. So you guys sold out senior night. Talk about that experience.
Yeah, our fans are the best ever. LSU fans are definitely different. They love us. They love gymnastics. I know a lot of other schools. They don't pack the PMAC like we do, or their arena. So it's always really, really cool to go in there and feel all the love from them.
Yeah, it's overwhelming at first.
For sure.
But it's just so cool, like looking up and seeing everyone like has their best like your best interest at heart, you know? Like even when you fall, they cheer you back on, and you know, people will wait outside the arena for you, tell you did a great job. Like that's what I love about Louisiana. Everyone's very kind.
I didn't get that feeling.
Yeah. Maybe it's just our fans.
That sounds like a you problem, Sean, because I agree.
maybe it's because I didn't like. I don't know. Maybe they knew I was an outsider or something like that.
I mean, I think that also LSU gym. I think most of our fan base is really young, like young gymnasts. So, I mean, how can we not smile?
I'm irrelevant to them.
No.
Yeah, like that's what it. I'm irrelevant to them. That's all it is.
No, I mean they love the football team just like that too. Like, or they criticize them a little bit more, but they love some LSU football down here.
Yeah, I'm excited to. I was talking to Coach Kelly. I'm excited to definitely come back down for a game. I think I'm gonna go to. I told him I want to go to Bama game, obviously, but I do want to go to the Ole Miss game too. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah,
that'll be cool.
It's gonna be fun.
Georgia at LSU, and it was like the time of my life. It was so
fun. Whole day just whole football day.
Were you or Christina? You were there for the national championship. Kai, I don't know if you were there too. Yeah. What was that entire year about? Joe Burrow's from Ohio, by the way, and I'm from Ohio, so
yeah.
Okay.
You guys are lucky that you guys got him. So
right.
Yeah, that whole year was just so cool.
One of the best years of my life, even though COVID, it was still one of the craziest years. That was so much fun.
Yeah, it was really neat, and the national championship being in New Orleans, it was just like.
Yeah, we went down and everything. We watched it live. We saw everything. It was crazy. They shut down all of what street is the Bourbon Street. They shut the whole thing down. Like it was crazy.
We did have practice the next day, but that wasn't too fun.
And we did great.
We made it through.
Yeah, so I mean, so 2019, you guys were runner-ups, right?
Yes.
So obviously, getting to experience that with the football team. What's Kai? This is for you. What's the mindset moving forward to where it's how can LSU gymnastics experience that and get to that level?
I think the most important thing for us is going to be, because we have the talent and we have the coaching, we have the facilities, we have everything we need tangibly. I think we just need consistency and grit, and because we know if we go out there, it's anyone's day. The teams we go against are amazing, and they also have great facilities and great coaching staff. So it's not about who's really better fundamentally, because everybody is. But I think for us to set us apart, we just need to lock in a little bit more, if that makes any sense. I don't know how to really put it into words, and we've talked about this so much as a team with Christina, and they're great too, because they know a lot and they have a lot of knowledge, and we'd be happy to know it. I just think we need more whatever that word is, just if that makes any sense. I don't have a word for it, because we're so good, we're already really good. We just need that.
We just need to get it together on that certain day, almost.
Yeah. And we have moments, we have moments where we're huge, explosive, amazing, and then it doesn't carry throughout, and I don't know what that reason is. We need to figure out what that is, but I'm excited. I think we have a really good shot if we just all lock in together,
What kind of advice are you giving to your freshmen?
I think ask for help is my first one, because although freshman year was my most fun year, it was one of the hardest for sure, because I felt I needed to do everything by myself. I would say ask for help, and don't think that you're by yourself. Don't think that you're alone, because that college gets really lonely. I think that's a underrated, under talked about thing, especially for college athletes. It's so lonely. So, and don't expect everything to be how you think it's going to be, because it's 100% not going to. 100%.
That's life. Yeah, that's life.
It's never going to happen the way you think it will. So,
right.
Yeah.
One thing I used to tell myself when I was young at camp, it was like, it's never as good as it is, and it's never as bad as it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Just because it's like, I go out there and have a good day, and then I go watch film, and I'm getting ripped, and I'm like, I thought I had a great day, and coach is telling me I'm terrible, but then I think I have a bad day, and then he's telling me I'm doing things right. So quickly I found out, like, you just gotta just like stay to yourself. I mean, like, just stay on the right path. I mean, honestly.
Stay the course,
yeah.
Keep going.
Christina, you obviously, like, you're done now, but maybe you may come back and coach. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, Kai could give a little word to your coach and see if she could bring you back. But
I know.
You came back. You came back for a 5th year. Was it a no-brainer for you?
Yeah, I knew right when I was told I had that opportunity that I was going to take it. I just love gymnastics. Obviously, I want to still stay in the sport. But yeah, it was a no-brainer. I couldn't miss an opportunity to be with my girls one more year too. That was a big thing.
So I mean, you guys mentioned that like you peak at 15 or 16. So when they come in as freshmen, I mean, obviously, like, you came in as a freshman and you went crazy. Do freshmen come in and, like, are they like the best on the squad, or is that not how it is?
Yeah, honestly, like, I know some of, like, I guess the accolades show that freshman year was pretty good for me, but that was probably my most challenging year for sure. Just adjusting to college, being without my family, being able to, like, cooking on my own, all that sort of stuff. But I really think I peaked in this past year, my 5th year, surprisingly. So I think it's really different for everyone. Some people come in as freshmen and they're incredible, and then some people don't peak until their last year. So I would say it's pretty different for everybody.
Yeah, we last show we had on some girls from the North Carolina women's lacrosse team, who's like #1 in the country right now, and they were talking about just how much their sport has grown. Just as far as like the media, all their games are being televised, or all their tournament games are being televised on ESPN and stuff. And so, I saw that your championships were televised on ESPN and ABC.
ABC, yeah.
So how has, like, since you've been in college, or since you've both been in college, how have you guys seen the sport grow so far?
Yeah, I definitely think it's been getting more exposure. Personally, I think gymnastics is so cool. So I don't know why people wouldn't want to watch it. I think it's really cool to watch. And just the atmosphere, especially in the PMAC, is really, really neat. But it's definitely grown a lot. Like you said, it was televised on ABC, which is huge for gymnastics, which was really, really cool.
Do you think athletes like Suni Lee and Jordan Childs and then Jade Carey like help push the sport as well? Because they're in they do college gymnastics, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely brings more exposure as well, them being here. They're great gymnasts. They're Olympians, so that also makes people want to watch more.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say that brings more exposure and helps gymnastics grow, college gymnastics. For sure.
Lexi, you got anything?
Can you guys maybe tell me about how you think your life growing up has affected like your career in college? I know that was a big thing for me. I feel like growing up, going through the club volleyball system, I learned a lot of life lessons and volleyball lessons that I could not have made it through college volleyball without. So I'm just curious to know if you guys have anything like that as well.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, that's a hard one to answer, but I definitely think I wouldn't be the woman I am like today without my club experience and my club coaches. Like, they practically like raised me. So I definitely learned a lot from them. I learned lots and lots. I would say more life lessons than gymnastics lessons, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't be who I am without that whole experience leading up to college, for sure.
How different was it for you going from homeschool to college? Like, how was that adjustment?
It was really different.
Yeah.
I loved it, though. I loved being in the classroom. It was honestly easier, like learning from an actual teacher.
Yeah.
Love my mom to death, but she's not a teacher. She doesn't really know how to, I mean, she definitely knew chemistry better than I did, but it it was nice to have a teacher and be in a classroom with other people. So it was definitely a cool experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that would be so hard for me. I don't know, just going
it was slightly terrifying, but after the first class, I was like, okay, it's not
to
as
get
bad
used to it, yeah.
as I thought. So.
Did your Kai, did your high school have gymnastics?
No, it was football, basketball, lacrosse, actually, soccer, but no gymnastics.
You went to Country Day, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did Kendall Basin go there?
Yeah.
Do you know her? So
She knows my brother, yeah.
Okay, so she, like, when I ran, like, I grew up running, like, AAU track, and it was, like, pretty competitive, and she was just, like, a stud, and so
she's really talented.
Definitely know your area, I guess, a little bit now. So just this past season, I mean, you guys, we already talked about it, but you guys fell short. You guys, at regionals, I think you're ended at regionals.
Yeah.
Yep.
We talk about just how small the detail, or how important the details are, to where it's like how many scores they take, to the movements you got to make, to you know, all those little things, like being on the beam and all those type of things, to where it's like you guys fell short of like 0.325 after a fall. Christina, you mentioned that it was well, it wasn't your fault, but it was you were just like, yeah, you were part of it, but stuff happens. Like we were talking before, like I've given up touchdowns in crucial moments. I've missed tackles in crucial moments. Like that's just sports.
Right.
So just like talk about that whole experience a little bit, to where I mean, you obviously kind of like can reflect on it now, but just like in that moment, what was your teammates like, and then what was just like the message just going forward?
Yeah, it was definitely devastating. So leading up to Beam was our last event. So leading up to Beam, we didn't have the best event before, and I kind of got in my head a little bit, honestly, now, like looking back, which I'm normally really good with, because same thing happened at SECs, and I was able to pull out like a great routine. But I think I just knew, like, okay, like I'm first one up, like I have to start off the rotation good, like I have to just do my normal routine, and I think I just overthought it too much and ended up going right off the side of the beam. But yeah, it was definitely devastating, and then another girl fell, which that's why we didn't qualify, because both of us. But honestly, the girls, we love each other so much. Like, we know it's just gymnastics. It's not the end of the world. So we were all, like, really loving towards each other. Obviously, we were devastated. But going forward, I think they just have to forget about that, because it's sports. It happens. It can happen to the best of us, like you said. So I think just going forward, they can't really think about that.
Kai, have you been able to? So you had an Achilles injury, right?
Yeah. Last year, sophomore year, it was Achilles, and then this year, in the middle of the year, I tore my rotator cuff in my right shoulder, and so I was doing like 3 events at the beginning of the year, and then towards the end of the year, I was only doing Beam. I actually went right after Dina at regional.
Yeah, she had to go up after my fall.
Did you?
Which is hard to do.
Did you? Do you want to talk about because my Achilles injury was like kind of weird. I was like jumping up to like defend a pass and like twist it, and then like I ended up actually like snapping it, and then I didn't know, like I was like so like into the game that I got up and jumped off the ground, and like when I landed, like my foot was just like it just felt like it was like stuck in mud. I always say that, but it's just like there's like nothing down there. It's just like boom, you hit the ground, and I'm like, I only got 1 foot. Like I looked down, it's like I didn't even know if my foot was still there.
Right.
That's how I thought it was. Was yours just like after like coming down, or was yours just like off, like you jumped or taking off?
Yeah, so I was doing a double layout, and I punched off of the back handspring, and I knew once I had punched that I either broke my toe or I broke a bone in my foot. That's what I thought, because I've done both of those things. So I was like, okay. And then I landed face all on the mat. And I was like, okay, I got no rotation whatsoever. And then I rolled over and I looked at my coach and I was like, the floor broke. Like, it literally felt like, because there's wooden panels. Yeah, she was there. There's wooden panels underneath our floor. So I thought it snapped. And he knew, like, he's been around long enough to know that that line usually means that you tore your Achilles. And then they brought me to the training room and they did that thing where they like squeeze your calf to see if it'll like react. Nothing happened. Yeah. My foot was just limp.
It's just dangling.
It was dead. And that was that. I was out all of sophomore year after that. I did do bars towards the end a little bit, which was cool. I didn't think I was gonna be able to come back that fast, but yeah, it was just one thing after another. Because my freshman year, I tore my shoulder and I broke my foot.
Just coming back from your shoulder when you did that.
Yes, literally. And then it was Achilles. Now it's my shoulder again. So. I don't
Wait,
know.
so you said you were able to do bars? So it's like, don't you have to land on that or no? Like, were you able to land?
No, I didn't do like any dismounts or anything. I just did like releases in the middle and like casts and stuff just to keep like my stamina up and stuff. But I didn't end up getting to do anything.
Yeah. How like early into gymnastics do you figure out like what you're best at? Like what's your well, you're all around, so it's just like
I would say like
jack of all trades.
No, definitely not. But I think it's honestly the way I figured out what I was best at is what I like doing the most. Because like I just ended up liking doing the reps, so then I just got better at it because I liked being up there doing it. I would say vault was my favorite for a while, and bars, because it's just so cool, just swinging around and flying around and stuff like that always intrigued me. And B made me so nervous up until college, and floor I just thought was dangerous, and I didn't like doing it.
How'd you land on? You do beam and floor, right, Christina?
Yeah.
How'd you land? Because I feel like beam is how wide is the beam?
4 inches. Like both your feet can't fit on it at the same time.
Yeah, no way. No way.
Yeah.
I'll do like pretend like like when you do like the test to see if if you're drunk or not. Like I'll do that like on the ground. Yeah, I'll like walk in a straight line like heel toe like that, and then like I'll be like, oh yeah, I'm good. Like or on like the curb or something.
Yeah.
Or like I can't imagine like doing a flip and then like having to land on 4 inches.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I mean, like Kai said before, it's like second nature. Honestly, I've always been like, I guess they call it like a beamer. Like I've always been just pretty good at beam. But yeah, I don't even really think about it anymore. I just go and pray I land on the beam.
Do you, I mean, obviously you guys are all like strong. Do you guys lift a lot, or is it just like, does that just come from the work that you do on the mat?
We lift in the summer sometimes, but we do a lot of body weight stuff because that's what we have to do in gymnastics. So it's a lot of body weight.
Like isolating, like stuff. Like isolation, I feel like is most of gymnastics. It's actually really hard though.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I have a trainer in Dallas who just like, he's a gymnastics coach, and he'll put like players through like workouts, like running on the spring. I don't know what it's called, but like just running on that, like your legs go dead quick. So yeah, no, I'm sure. But we have a segment we call One of None, to where it's like we describe a moment that in our careers that just a memorable moment that we always look back to, or that that's a highlight moment for us. Hopefully we didn't mention it yet, but I always talk about like we ended up beating Clemson my last year. We beat them home. They're the #1 team in the country. It was senior night. It was a great experience. And then also just like being able to play in the college football playoffs like 2 times in my career was pretty cool. So Lexi can share hers, and then definitely one of you guys just share yours.
That's a good question. Mine probably is this past year. We played Ohio State. They were #3 in the country. We kind of played them in a little bit of a doubleheader, so they came to us first and they killed us. We went to them, and they have their own arena just for volleyball, and it seats like 800, 900 people, and it was sold out. And we took them to 5 sets, and our team was just like firing on all cylinders. We were playing really well, and we ended up losing because they just played better. But the game was like an experience I'll never ever forget. It was so much fun.
That's cool.
That's so cool. I would have to say definitely SEC's 2019, but another one was when we were at the national championship. I think it was still Super Six at the time. We came up. We were runner up. What runner ups? Is that how you say it? Runner ups. Okay, at 2019, the Super Six. I think we didn't win, obviously, so that was sad. But just looking up and knowing that we did everything that we could, we left with no regrets. I think that's a moment that I'll never forget, for sure.
I think in college it would have to be as a team probably when we beat Utah, because it was just it was so smooth. It wasn't even really like the hypest meet we've ever had, but it was just like it was so business-like, and that was really cool for me.
Mm-hmm.
And then before college, when I think it was like my junior year, I won like this really big meet that I just never thought I would be able to, and it was really exciting, and I'll never forget that. That was a cool day.
Were you guys able to capitalize on NIL at all? Obviously, I feel like for men's sports, it's pretty cool just because I feel like they go after like all the like big names, and you kind of get like the big brands, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of opportunity for females, just because you guys have the looks and you guys have more brand opportunity to where it's like that you could use later on in life. Even if you're done playing sports, to where it's like football players or whatever, any male athlete, it's like if you don't play sports, it's like, why? I don't care about you. So, but like for a female, it's like if you're pretty or something, and it's like, okay, like we'll continue to use you as like a brand ambassador or something. So, how have you guys been able to capitalize on the NIL stuff?
Yeah, it's been really cool, like being able to build our own brand, kind of outside of gymnastics. I mean, I know that companies want to work with us because we are LSU gymnasts and all that stuff, but it's been neat to build our own brand. But it's honestly really hard with school and practice and competitions and all that stuff to like find time to email these people, negotiate deals and all that stuff. But it's been a really cool experience, I think. I think it's really
you even she needs an assistant. So.
Yeah, she needs an agent.
Yeah, so
yeah.
I do have an agent, but I need an assistant.
She needs a day-to-day assistant.
Okay, but now that I'm done with grad school was kicking my butt. So now that I'm done with that, I'm good.
Kai, how about you?
I've gotten like asked to do things here and there, promotional stuff, but I'm not like, I like NIL and I really like the idea and everything, but I don't think I found something that's like brought, something that I'm passionate about that I really want to like get into yet. Not to say that I won't, but I love what it's doing for athletes, and I think it's like a really cool idea. I haven't really found my niche or anything yet.
I got you. We'll have to put you in touch with a friend of mine. He has a NIL company basically, and you basically just like sign him to a platform, then you can just scroll and see what you want to find. It's called Global. But it's pretty cool. But so looking back on your career, Christina and Kai, you have one more year. Like you said, you guys have a lot of young like Tiger fans. Mm-hmm. What's something that you would want to say to one of them, or any advice that you would give them growing up in the gymnastics world?
Yeah, I would definitely say just stay the course. Gymnastics sports is just like a roller coaster. You have many ups and downs, but you can't give up when you're down. So I would say just stay the course, and it's worth it for sure.
I would piggyback off of that. Just don't stop just because you had a bad day, but also don't do something that other people are making you do.
Right. Don't do something that you don't.
Yeah, because this sport is way too hard to do it for somebody else. So definitely do it because you love it and because you want to do it. That would definitely be my advice.
That's dope. Christina, you got anything that for Kai or for your any other teammates that are still there?
Yeah, I would just say don't look at the past. Just look forward. Just be the leader that you are for the incoming freshmen and all the other girls. And I think y'all will do really good this year. I'm excited to watch.
Lexi, you got anything or no?
It was really nice to meet you guys.
Nice meeting
I'm
you.
excited to see what you guys are doing this year. I got to watch some gymnastics now.
Yeah, we definitely got to watch more gymnastics. I saw Oklahoma won, but I didn't watch it just because LSU wasn't in it, I guess. So no need to watch it. But hopefully next year we're tuning in and
for sure. I used to watch college gymnastics all the time with my dad. We were like obsessed with it, and I got away from my grind. But I'm gonna get back to it. I'm gonna watch some college gymnastics.
So yeah, I feel like after like the whole Gabby Douglas like documentary or the story she had, I feel like after that like I was a fan of gymnastics and I kind of watched it a little bit more. But yeah, I do think the sport is growing and very excited to see what LSU can do in the future. And Christina, what the future holds for you. Like I said before, like if you wanna get in the podcast game, Lexi wants to co-host, and we think we can figure something out there. But
we'll talk. I'll call your people.
Appreciate you guys hopping on this episode of Varsity House Podcast. We got Kai Rivers and then Christina, and then my co-host Lexi Sawney. So just appreciate you guys hopping on this day, and much success to you both in your future.
Thank you.
Thank you.